Hello, and welcome to another AASHTOWare project tutorial video. In this tutorial, we will be discussing informational times. The informational times section provides a location to enter critical and key dates for the SCDOT. These must be entered throughout the life of the contract, and many of the informational times are required for system functions. For example, a notice to proceed date is required to generate the first estimate. A daily work report cannot be entered before the contract activation date. It is extremely important to maintain these dates. The roles allowed for editing informational times are Project Engineer, Assistant Resident Construction Engineer, and Resident Construction Engineer. To navigate to informational times from the home screen, select Contract Administration. Select your contract. Click the Contract Times tab located on the left side of the screen. Expand the Informational Time panel to view. Informational times are categorized three ways. The first category: required to activate contract. These required informational times are pre-entered by the AASHTOWare project administrator during the activation process. These are let date, award date, execution date, and activation date. The managing construction office cannot view a contract until these dates are entered and the contract is activated. The second category: required to close contract. These times are required and entered by the contract managing office. A contract cannot complete the closeout process until these are completed. Failure to enter these fields will prevent the contract status from being changed from active to closed. The third category: neither. These times are not required but could be used if relevant for your contract. Filters were created to help to differentiate these categories and to minimize screen clutter. If you would like to see all the informational times at once, select the System Default filter. For each informational time listed, the projected completion date is optional and would only be relevant for some informational times. Alternatively, the actual completion date should be used for all informational times. When entering a date in these fields, hours and minutes can be important. A good rule of thumb to remember: use 12 a.m. for all the records unless the informational time event can be pinpointed to a specific hour and minute. Once you enter a date into these fields, press Save. These dates can also be edited. However, you should not edit any of the required to activate fields at any time. Some informational times do not show up by default because they are not used on every contract. You can add additional informational times by clicking the Select Informational Times button. Select your informational time. Click the Add to Contract Times button. Make any changes needed to the record. And lastly, click Save to finish. This concludes this tutorial. If you have any questions about informational times, please contact the AASHTOWare project administrator. Have a good day.